As a Wisconsin guy, you know what Platteville is, right?
Of course.
Good.
Yeah.
Not many do. You're going to have to teach your teammates some geography.
Yeah, I don't know where it is exactly, but I know the area.
Last week at Big Ten Media Days, Tanner had said something when all the questions about passing the ball were coming in. He mentioned that in the past, Phil had a couple guys that had 1,000-yard seasons in the same year. And mentioned that both you and Ches did some research on his past teams and kind of saw that he does run the ball a lot. Do you imagine that that's going to still be a massive part of this offense, and kind of how do you see your role fitting in this year?
I would hope so. If it wasn't, that would be disappointing. But I think, like you kind of said, just when you look at the history, he's obviously had a lot of success both running the ball and throwing the ball. So balance is what you want. And, as long as we're doing our part to the best that we can and we're winning, how many times I touch the ball game doesn't really matter too much to me. But obviously, I think we're going to run the football.
You excited for Platteville? The bond you might build with your teammates?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm just ready to play football. So regardless of where that's at, it's an exciting time.
Numbers can be whatever you make them out to be, Braelon. So when you go into a season, what do you kind of think in your mind as far as goals and things that you really want to accomplish and get better at?
I wouldn't say numbers really have a part in my thought process at all this year. Obviously, a whole new offense. You don't really know exactly what to expect. I mean, last year I kind of had an idea just because I played in a similar offense the year before. So I guess it was kind of you could kind of aim for numbers more so last year or years past, but I mean this year it's a completely different thing because you don't really know how much you're going to beat the ball. So.
Building chemistry, I mean, obviously it's a new offense. How close do you feel you are to like the full playbook, running the full gamut of plays, and is that something that develops?
Yeah, I think camp's kind of where you kind of bring it all together. I mean, we did it in spring ball, obviously, and a little bit throughout the summer, not too much, but so it's not really fresh in our minds right now. So I guess the first kind of few days, you really go install. A different install every day, so you kind of learn a little bit of the playbook each and every day, and hopefully by the end, you kind of firing on all cylinders, and so camp's definitely where you kind of bring it all together.
You're obviously recruited to play a lot of different positions. I know you said last week you didn't have any regrets about playing running back, even with all the talk in the NFL about the salaries and stuff. Why are you happy playing running back, even knowing kind of that kind of situation at the next level?
Yeah, I find it personally just to be the most enjoyable position to me. As long as I'm enjoying what I'm doing, I don't really find, the money to be too much of a factor or issue or anything. I just want to, do what I love to do. Ever since I started playing running back, I felt that it's been the most fun I've had really playing football. And I just, like I said, just find it enjoyable, and I love scoring touchdowns. I love having the ball in my hands. So hopefully, by that time, it'll be all figured out.
Do you have any concerns that maybe years down the road, like the next generation of players might shy away from playing running back if it stays like this? Or
I see that's just kind of where it's a little weird to me, is because you don't want to push people away from playing running back. I mean, because eventually there's not going to be any, and then what do you do? Who fills in that role? But I don't think so. Like I said, I think it'll all be figured out. There's something's got to happen. It can't keep going the way that it is.
Have you seen all the stuff with Jonathan Taylor this week? Do you have any thoughts on all that? It all seems a little confusing from every aspect, just in terms of exactly what happened. But do you have any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I have thoughts on it. I don't know. It's kind of just like you said, just kind of a weird situation. It's tough, to see, everybody that's been here with him and has talked to him knows what kind of person he is. And I can't even imagine. Obviously, I didn't get to play with him, but I can't even imagine the value that he brings to just the locker room. So, I just kind of wonder what those guys are feeling for him, because obviously he's such a great player. Like I said, such a great just person and teammate. So for him not to be treated as fairly as he should be is kind of alarming, I guess. But he's gonna. I don't know what he's gonna do, but at the end of the day, he'll do what's right. And, he's gonna kind of do do what's best for himself, and it'll all work out.
Phil mentioned that Tanner is probably one of the most even-keeled quarterbacks he's ever been around. Do you ever see him, Braelon, get excited about anything?
I don't think I have, no. Maybe a couple plays in spring ball, but other than that, no, not really.
What makes that a good quality in a quarterback, in your opinion?
I think just, when those high-pressure situations come about, and, you have a guy that's always the same person, regardless of things are going good, things are going bad. Somebody who's always going to be themselves and do the job there.
Have you got to know you well, but it seems like you're kind of that way too. Is that what you try to do? Is even keel? You don't get too high, too low. You don't get too crazy. Anything?
Yeah, I would say for the most part, try to kind of keep a level head in that sense. But I like to get excited, when things are going well. But I also always try to remind myself, things can change in an instant, regardless of what that is, whether it's on the field, off the field, whatever it is. But yeah, for the most part, try to kind of have a level head.
Have you gotten a chance to talk to any of the former running backs who played in Phil's system in the past or anything like that?
I have a question. I'm going to move my camera though.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yep.
This program's bringing in a large number of transfers, which is pretty atypical for Wisconsin. I'm curious, for being somebody that's played a lot here and then not seen a lot of transition, how do you go about just implementing these guys into the locker room and, making sure everybody's on the same page with the culture and everything with such little time to do it?
Yeah, I find it pretty easy. I mean, everybody's here to do one thing. Everybody's got the same goal. That's a big reason of why they choose to come here. And once they're in that locker room, they're family. So it's kind of an easy transition, I'd say, for them and for us as the guys who've already been here. But not too difficult. I think it's great for our program and this team to bring in guys.
Do you think the coaching staff did a good job of just finding like-minded guys that already fit here, and there wasn't too big of a deal to share the field with these guys?
Yeah, I think they did. I think we got a group of guys that were, like I kind of mentioned before, just had the same goal in mind, and when they got here, it was really seamless transition. They fit in right away. So I think they did a great job of that.
I know it's not your position, but there are a lot of wide receivers, being broken into that offense, and a lot of different guys that can do different things. And now you got to throw Bryson into that mix. I don't know how much you've been around him, but what have kind of been your impressions of maybe what he can do for this offense?
Yeah, from what I've seen so far, he's looked great. He's definitely going to be a big part of the offense. I know that for sure. Just a great guy to be around, a great locker room guy who I think fits perfectly in this offense and this team.
Talking about Gus Tanner being pretty even keel, is he like that off the field, or is he the type of guy that flips the switch on?
Nah, he's like that. At least around me, from what I've seen, he's like that off the field too.